There you go.
There we go.
It took a sweet time, John.
Yeah.
This thing glitched last night on me, but
Really? I got my new brakes will be here Monday, I think. My new power brakes for the new boat.
there you go. We're letting our sponsors roll through, guys. Premier Outdoor Living, Alpha Plumbing, One Call Heating and Air, Rayco Industrial, Kelly Safety, Andalusia Marine, and Power Brakes, guys. We appreciate them. They sponsor us every month, and they're great folks. And everybody, I hope everybody does business with them. But we just let it kind of roll through here, and I try to make posts during the week, thanking them all. We'll let this roll through, and John can talk about rigging his new boat. He's down in Andalusia Marine rigging it. So.
Yes.
But let these roll through. I appreciate them sponsors, guys. All those are good people. Anybody we deal with are good folks and great to deal with. So
We wouldn't deal with them or have them,
that's exactly right. We that's what John and I agreed on when we started this thing, guys. If they want to sponsor it, we don't want any. Hell, ain't no other word, jackasses or anything, just because they want to sponsor it. I mean, ain't no other words for it. We want people that people want to do business with that can find, can actually say, hey, they sponsor them. John and Shane, and they, hey, if they're associated with them, they're good people. So,
yeah.
Well, John, let's go ahead and I know what you've been doing the last few days. Talk about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And some people are interested in, I'm sure, because a lot of people don't get to see the rigging and, or don't get to haven't done any rigging. So,
yeah. For those that didn't see it, Jessica and I are coming out of a Express X19 Pro boat with a 200 Yamaha on it and show on it, and we found a older Ranger boat with a newer motor on it that we wanted, and we're swapping some stuff out between the two, getting that Ranger rigged out like we wanted it. That's it. The wiring on that boat, as it sat right there in that picture, wasn't the way we wanted it by any means. There was one wire I pulled to the front with a little tiny bus bar pulling all the electronics from the front, and that's not the way you want to go, guys. It was a little thin bus bar. And so what we started doing is we used some of the existing wiring to pull wires to the front. We got individual wires going to every piece of electronics on that boat now. It has been a challenge. I put a picture out there of all the wires hanging out of it yesterday, and there were some people that disagree with it, agree with it. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion, but I know how clean my screens can be the way I've had it in the past. So to each his own on the way they want to power their graphs and their electronics. But I know what works for us, and it takes. I mean, don't get me wrong, pulling that much wire, that is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, you're pulling every screen. You have how many screens you got up front?
I got 3 in the front and 2 at the console.
So you're pulling an individual 10-gauge wire and breaker to each one of them or whatever, I guess.
Plus, I've got 2 black boxes I'm wired in. So we pulled 5 10-gauge strands of positive and negative to the front of the boat, and then we pulled. Actually, we pulled 6 because I ran another one to my switch where all my network cables come to for my Humminbird stuff. That was overkill. That Humminbird switch doesn't require that much power, but while we were pulling, we went ahead and did it, and then pulled 2 more wires to the console. So we got a pile of copper pulled up through this boat.
Tell everybody the trick that your guy used to.
Oh yeah,
I would think about it. You told me about it last night. So
I hadn't seen this one before. Hudson Dean, who works at Andalusia Marine, we're getting ready to pull those wires to the front of the boat, and we had one wire that was going from the front to the back we were going to use as a fish, and so we got everything taped together. He goes over to the sink over there and gets the Dawn dishwashing liquid, and I said I ought to do a video of this, him lubing these wires up. It's funny, but he puts that Dawn dishwashing liquid or detergent, whatever you want to call it, on those wires and gets them good and slick. And when we start pulling those through there, they slid right on through. And
that's a good. I don't know what that wire lube that electricians use, but it's the same content,
Yeah,
same texture. Excuse me, as a Dawn. So
that Dawn, we slid it right on through, and
it's good stuff.
We're fortunate to have that one wire that was already pulled through there. So
yeah, how did Clinton asked a good question? How are you hooking that to your batteries, John? Each individual wire. I mean, you got the
okay. So we're running like a I think it's like 4 gauge off the battery to 2 dedicated posts.
There you go, just like I got on front of mine. You got 2 little.
But the posts are there. I wouldn't be scared to say. I don't know. Almost like I wouldn't say a half, but a little bit smaller, a 1/2 inch stud that comes off of them.
Yeah, they're like 3/8 little.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've got 2 of those studs, and I've got 2 12-volt batteries in parallel for cranking, and they're both lithium, and we tie it into those, and then we'll tie everything else into those studs.
That's what I've got. I pulled some big wire to the front of mine and have 2 lugs. And the good thing about that, John, like you were saying, it's easy to troubleshoot it because those wires go those lugs. If you got power at those lugs, something's going on, if you don't have power somewhere else. So.
Well, and a lot of people are like, you need to label all your wires before you pull them through and all that. You can do that, but here's we're going to do this first thing in the morning. So if you power everything up and you've been successful and you've got everything powered up, you got all your wires pulled, you got all your fuses back there at the back. So what I do is I power everything up. That marine grade wire has an external coating as well as a coating over the positive and negative. Well, you can write on that white part of that marine wire. So what I'll start doing is I'll have all my stuff turned on. I'll start pulling each fuse, and whatever cuts off, you write it on that white wire. Because, when you pull the fuse, it's going to kill the power to whatever you pull the fuse. So let's just say up front that Helix 9 I use as a map up in front of my boat. I pull the fuse out of one wire, and that Helix 9 up front cuts off. All right, I'm going to write on that wire Helix 9. So that way, if I ever have a problem with that graph and it cuts off on me and I think it might be a blown fuse, I can go back there. I said, all right, let me look at this wire. There's the Helix 9 wire. I'll pull the fuse, possibly look at it, maybe replace it, and that would be an easy fix, So you don't.
Well, that's good. You're taking your time doing that because, like I said, you get out there and you're not. The worst thing is something happened and you got a power. Like I didn't put marine grade wire in my boat. Remember when we went to Grenada, John?
Yeah.
I got out there, guys, and was fishing, and we were on fish, and my voltage was just, I was watching it drop. I was like, something's wrong. And the wires at the battery were breaking down when they was getting hot. I mean, it was thin. Like it wasn't speaker wire, of course, but it was kind of that same kind of, look.
It was fine. You ran some fine copper wire.
Right. That's what it was. And you do not want to.
It was actually kind of corroding back there.
Right. Exactly what it was. Exactly, and it was breaking down and messing with the continuity of the power. So I ran into that. We cut it off and cleaned it up, and it got me through the weekend. But then I learned my lesson about wires, guy. Don't skimp on the wiring at all.
Well, and you hadn't heat shrinked any of your stuff at the time,
No, exactly.
Shane was trying to get on the water, so all these butt connectors and these ring connectors that we use now. You crimp them, of course, and then you put that heat gun on it, and it'll heat shrink them down. And
right, it keeps them from getting corroded.
Right.
I pulled some show enough wire on it this time. I went to, I've got some. It's almost like house wire. It's stiff as all get out, but hey, it won't break down. But you know, when you're running that much, you gotta realize, man, that 16-inch screen, it pulls some power. That Helix 15 I'm running, it pulls some major power. So you know,
that Helix 15 is one of the biggest energy users of any electronics that you'll ever run into.
it does. And you know, John got me. I just got another battery last night, and I was talking to Neil, and I've got two 50s running my trolling motor, and I bought a 36 volt one battery. John got me hooked up with a guy, and I'm just gonna run those 50s to my 15 because it uses so much, so much power. So, but this is just a different aspect you're gonna run into, guys, messing with live scope and all these electronics. You're gonna run into this, I promise you. Especially when you start upgrading everything. That's why we just kind of touched on it.
Well, we just from the jump street, we just jump right into electronics and wire and all that. Let's talk about
because we had talked about it. The good thing about it, I didn't write any notes down. I don't have any. It's nothing. You know, we're just kind of just kind of shoot from the hip. That's why we like to do this show a lot. So
let's talk about some fishing. I mean,
yeah, let's talk about. Hey, like I said, now John, you fish at your house. You're close to your house here.
I didn't fish the lake I live on, but I fished one close to it. And
that's right.
That was what was that? Was that Tuesday? Let's see.
I think it was. I think you sent me a picture Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. I went out there and Ray Morris, he was coming up and he brought his uncle and I was, they weren't familiar with the area and so we hit a couple spots and they weren't where we thought they were going to be. I said I know where something's going to be because his uncle is he's an older gentleman. I think he's 77, and it was his first time live scope. And I said let's get him on some numbers where he can actually
get on some fish, right?
Yeah, catch some fish. So we went to another area, and I pulled up through there. I said right here, and they stopped and they went to catching some fish. And I went to another little area and I smoked their butts. I had a limit by 8:30 in the morning, and I mean it was good.
How deep are those fish? I don't think they were that deep, were they, John?
No, the best spot or the best little area I was catching them 5.4, 5.5.
I knew the picture you sent me wasn't very deep.
So. Yeah, 5.5 feet deep, and it was on. I mean,
was a bunch of whitefish, John?
Yeah, whitefish. Well, I don't know. I had a mix, but
I got you.
There's more white crappie than black crappie, but man, it was fun. I was wishing Jessica was with me because it was. I pulled off one little spot. I said, I'm not going to just stroke all these. I said, she'll be ready to go once we get the new boat rigged out, and we'll come back. And maybe they'll still be there.
Yeah, she's a little under the weather tonight, guys. I know.
What's bad is she came. She met me for lunch after she had a doctor's appointment. And I left from working on my boat, and she started feeling bad, and I was like, golly. So we hope she gets to doing better, and she'll be with us next week. But talking about catching those fish shallow like that, heck, I'll be honest with you, Shane, the Thermocline sitting in there about 9.5 feet. So I'm going thinking I'm going to go to stumps, and they'll be sitting on the top of the stumps at that level. And we talked about the Thermocline and moving fish around and stuff a lot. But I was going across the flat, and those fish were there. I'm like, I know what that is. I went to mess with them, and it was just catch after catch after catch. And those fish in that shallow water bit better.
They got a lot better attitude for sure.
So when we talk about Thermocline pushing fish around, it might push them down. It might push them up.
That's exactly right.
It's going to push them wherever that Thermocline is. Don't think that we're always saying it's going to push them shallow. Wherever it is at, that's where it's going to push them.
That's what's making them move, is what John's trying to tell you guys. Yeah. That is the bait. It's making the bait move.
Well, yeah, and it's because of the oxygen level in that barrier. That's what's moving them around. They're chasing oxygen. The fish are.
That's right.
And the bait fish are too. Nothing wants to die worse than a crappie than a shad. If you ever put shad,
Oh, golly.
put a shad, like we used to catfish a lot, you might as well get ready to bait up with dead bait.
Speaking of catfish, Neil and I were at Talcon, and we figured out the fish were 12 to 16 foot deep. There wasn't no secret. You just had to move around, and we got on one stump. And I looked down there. I said, "Man, that's a lot of fish." And I was really unsure, to be honest with you. And I caught a catfish about 2 pounds. It was hundreds of them in a scoop, just sitting on that one little old hump, and up there just doing their thing. And once they got to moving around, I could tell. But we ran into a bunch of fish at Talcon. There's it's black crappie down there. That's all you're dealing with, and we had to take a 30-second, put it below a split shot to make them even bite. But what was crazy, guys, is I was talking about it last night. When I snapped my rod over that school, a crappie would kind of get out of the way, and his buddy would think he was eating something. Then he'd jump up there and eat the jig. So when he darted, it fired him up to eat. And we actually repeated that several times over those schools. And Neil, later on that evening, we had some storms come up, and we went and got out of it, and we went back, and Neil got up there and he goes, "All right, let me see what you're doing." And he caught on to it and popped a few fish, and me and him both were catching fish. But it was so funny, John, watching you snap that jig, and one would do a little juke and the other one would come up and hit it. And I guess it's just making him react. It was kind of funny. But I mean, I watched it happen on live scope. So
they're getting jealous. His buddy was getting jealous.
Yeah, you've seen them, John, when they're hot. It looks like that other fish pushed that other fish on your jig because they're competing for it when they're really biting. But these, you literally had to take your bait, and hang it over them, and pop it. And when it come back down, one would get out of the way, and then one would eat it. So, crazy stuff. Like I said, it's 12 to 16 foot deep. All I was doing was looking at that on the map. I side scanned some, and then most of the time, if I knew I could cover your area with my trolling motor, I just took off, dropped my power brakes. I mean, people don't understand those power brakes come in they're such handy tools because you can drop them and you can cover some water. And you can stop when you need to. It just, we were talking about it before. I was talking to Chad, and they're not a gimmick, guys. I mean, them things, when you fish on a boat with them, you're going to have you some. If you can afford to get them. I promise you.
My new ones for the Ranger will be here Monday. So
That's right.
I'm excited to slide those on there and get after it.
Ray said, "I caught 50 this weekend and 50 to 70 foot of water. Lord have mercy." In Fort Tree, 15.
Oh, the trees came way up.
I got you. The trees came way up. I got you. 15 foot deep. Catch 3 or 4 move. There you go, Ray. You're exactly right. That's the way it is. People don't understand. And I tell people that go with me, if you see somebody sitting on a spot a long time, they don't know what's going on, because all those fish ain't biting. You're gonna get a handful unless you run into something like John. You run into a real hot area, but 99% of the time you're gonna have to move. You're gonna have to, stick move. You're gonna catch a few and run. So, what bait did you catch yours on Tuesday, John?
Do we need to say it? No, I was throwing monkey milk. Steve from Limits Tackle, he sent me a newer type monkey milk. It's got a little more clear in it.
Okay, yeah, Tommy's got some of those.
Yeah, I threw those and just regular monkey milk. And the only reason I was swapping between the two is I broke off and I had another one tied on.
I just got some more heads from Steve. I tell you, I'll be honest with you. I used to make fun of John when he threw these little hooks because I was like, "What you gonna do with that little brim hook?" But hey, let me tell you something, guys. That thing, it's little. It's a number. Is that a number 4 or 6, John? I can't remember.
That's a 6.
That's a 6.
That's the one I throw the majority of the time.
That little hook right there, guys. And it's got a little wire keeper on it. I don't know if y'all can see it. There you go. That thing will sting some fish. I'm telling you, when it gets in the roof of that mouth, you better get the pliers out. But I laughed, man.
Oh yeah, we were out. That's when we were.
We went down. That's when we went south. That's right.
We went to Okatibbe, remember?
That's right. And you know, it just the memories popped up.
It did.
Yesterday we was at Okatibbe.
Yeah.
You want to go catch a bunch of fish, guys? You can go down there towards Meridian and catch some fish at Okatibbe. It is full of them.
The day before that, I sent Jake a picture of that big whitefish he caught that. I said, "All right, Jake, it's last cast." He was on the boat with me, and
that's right.
I think it's the biggest fish we had the whole trip.
It was when we were at Enid.
Enid, yeah.
Yeah, we were at Enid, but Steve just hooked me up. Like I said, I just ordered some, but guys, you get a chance to go to Okatibbe. I'm telling you, John took off towards the dam, and hell, I just got my boat good. I'm just sitting there situating myself. I'm looking, John. He's already done busted them over there.
I had a plan.
He done planned it out on Navionics, done mapped it out, and I caught some nice whitefish. And but man, what was cool about that trip, guys? We got to the bank, and there was a fella sitting out there fishing. I said, "Man, you want some fish?" He goes, "Huh?" So we gave him a sack full. I think we gave him 60 fish. I think.
Yeah,
close to it.
He had an industrial garbage bag. We put them in it.
He didn't have nothing. I got some trash bags in the truck. Hey.
That rascal, he said, he went and reeled all his poles up after we gave him those fish. He
gone.
Said, what a clean fish.
Yeah, he was gone, man. That was a good trip, man. But you get a chance to go to Okatibbe, it's straight down 20. You start going out there, you feel like you're going out in the middle of nowhere now. But we hit it on the way back from Grenada. Me and John was sitting there it started storming in Grenada, real bad lightning. I remember that.
It did.
When we left. I sure do.
Oh. They're stroking them out there in Grenada right now.
Oh, man. Everybody's putting a whooping on them out there. They catching a lot of fish. You know, that lake, man, is just impressive how it just recovers and puts out fish. And, you know, it's amazing. But I seen where Hayden caught a bunch of fish, I guess, on Ross Burnett. I guess that's where he's fishing. I'm not sure where he's fishing. Eagle Lake or something. I don't know where he's fishing.
Hey, I'm telling you, he bumps around, you know. So
there's people answering each other's questions. Somebody was asking about Wadowee. I have never fished Wadowee.
I don't have a clue. I mean, I could look at it on the map if somebody wants to.
Yeah, Ryan's going, and some people's trying to help him. James Trott, his father passed away. He said, "I would like to say a huge thank you to all the people in the Crappie family for the well wishes, condolence for the loss of his dad. We hate to he passed away, but big time crappie fisherman. I'm glad everybody's reaching out to James, you know, since he lost his dad. So let's see, man. Looks like everybody's. I like it when people answer each other's questions on here. Somebody was asking about it, and somebody's answering what they caught them on, and I know with Dowie, I think it's like a dock shooting lake, I think, isn't it? Somebody said there's some timbering. I was looking at the comment.
I don't know. There's stumps in every lake, so I mean, you know, I hate that you know, somebody say, "Oh, that's a dock shooting lake." I'm like, nah, I mean, that can't be the only thing, you know.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right. There's some stumps on the main channel. You're exactly right.
I mean, think about this. Like, so you broke down a lake and you say, "Oh, that the channel swings over toward that dock. I'm gonna start there in the morning." When you get there, somebody beats you to it, then you're gonna be all disappointed. So you need to be able to
have plan B. That's right.
Option, you know. I mean, you know, fishing tournaments and stuff. You had to have something different, you know, because heck, if somebody got put in before you or got to a spot before you and they were on that dock you planned on, then
yeah, they're gonna catch the hot fish and be gone. Yeah, exactly.
Recreational fishing is the same way. Just because you went the day before and caught them off a dock, have you a second option, you know, because you don't know if somebody's gonna be sitting on it, and certainly if somebody sat there on that thing for about 45 minutes and beat on those fish, You come in there behind them, it's not going to be that friendly to you.
That's exactly right. Rob said the big girls are chomping. Last Saturday at Seminole had 6 over 14 inches and 2 over 15. Heck yeah.
I hear you, Rob. Rob, you going to get me in trouble. I said I wasn't going down there this weekend. My boat might be finished tomorrow.
I asked him yesterday, guys. I was talking to him on my way home. I was like, man, John's getting all it set up. He ain't going to be able to stand it, I'm telling y'all. He going to have the maiden voyage out there, break that thing in. So
yeah,
he gets that Ranger all set up. So
hey, it's a red boat. We were going to call it Reba. I decided, so I was like, you know what? There's probably a bunch of people out there with a boat named Reba because of Reba McEntire, you know.
Yeah.
So, Jessica and I watch that show Suits. I don't know if anybody, it's a series of Suits. It's a real good show on Netflix.
Is it Suits?
Yeah, and
the lawyer video. I got the lawyer show. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a redheaded lady on there, and her name's Donna. So we named it Donna instead of Reba.
That's good. Hey, that's my mom's name. We were growing up. Everybody called everybody by their mamas. Look at the Scott D's tuned in. I tried to call him on the way home from the plant. So I've been cooking fish for the paper mill today. I had to get some water in me, guys. I sat out there and I got to talking and running my mouth and cooking, and I didn't drink enough water today. And I'm catching up on it now. But we had some fish dip, and we cooked for about, I guess, close to 50 people, I'm guessing. They said 25, and I know better than that. So I started cooking, and here they come. So that went real well today. So old Amos said he's headed to New Lake Erling in Arkansas. You know where that is, John?
Ooh, you gonna have a big time, buddy. That is an awesome lake.
That's got some big whites in it, don't it?
The only problem with Lake Erling is in the middle of down nowhere. It is a awesome lake. It's got black fish and white fish.
Okay. But, I hope to. I'm hoping. I'm ready to go on that trip the first of the year. I don't know when Eric went last year. He went a few weeks before you and Shiloh did, but I know he went to Cato and all that. They put a hurting on him, man. So I want to make that. I want to make that trip the first of the year.
Last year they had a summer tournament on Erling.
That's right. I remember that. Yes.
They were weighing in 2-pound fish, like big bags on Erling during the summer.
I remember that was who was that?
Exploit the lake or anything, but that lake is amazing. It's just in the middle of nowhere, and
he's asking any hybrids in there, John. I don't know if they are. I'm sure they are.
We'll have to ask Shiloh.
Shiloh's the hybrid man, hybrid whisperer.
Me and Shiloh. That's where we got Shiloh's boat trailer fixed at when we were staying out there.
Yeah.
The guy that fixed his boat trailer, we kept him a bunch of fish there when we were on that.
I do remember that.
That lake's amazing. If anybody gets a chance to go fishing, it is very cool, but it's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, a lot of those lakes are. Is it bad as Darbone, John?
Not as bad as Darbone, but I mean, you don't do right, it could be.
Well, Seminole could be that way too, Mike. I mean, you get outside the buoys, man. Inside the buoys, it gets woo.
Yeah, but the thing about Erling is like there's fewer boat lanes. Like I don't know. I just you just need to be careful when you go on it. Let's just say that. I mean, you'll be. There's a lot of big trees still standing in, and I mean they have a lot of fatalities on that lake.
Next weekend's a Crappie Masters bracket shooting. Okay, I don't keep up with it a lot, so that's what Amos is saying right there. From out. Yep, that's what he's saying. So.
Well,
It glitched for a second for some reason.
Yeah, it did. Speaking of Amos, the 5-footer outlaw crappie poles that I love so much, Jessica and I love so much, they've got them back in stock.
There you go.
You want to get at them? He's sending me a bunch of them. They're gonna have them where you can order them off the website again, www.fishoutlaw.com. We're not doing a giveaway this week. That'll be next week. But the 5-footers that we love so much are back in, and
he said something about 40. So
yeah, he's sending me for keep everybody stocked up.
4D. Woo! I hear you.
Yep.
That's good, man. I know people have been asking about them because once that, you know, the first time I handed somebody one of them rods, they looked at me like, "Well, you give me this little kid's pole, will you?" And I allow us to catch a fish with it. They're like, "Oh." You know, it's funny, you know, John. They look at it and they're like, "What are you giving this kid's rod for?" You know.
You can look back some of my stuff.
Oh man, that day, you know, that video. If we hadn't been saying so many 4-letter words that day, we could have read it because we were whooping on them rods that day. You know.
I mean, I don't know the biggest one I flipped with.
You flipped a 3.0 something down here by the house.
I did. I forgot about it. Yeah.
What was that? 306?
311.
311.
Biggest.
John said he just kept coming with it.
Well, I mean, if you ain't got that out, I mean, I'm not going to jump down there like an idiot and try to lip it and all that shit. But I just kept. I had to grab the spool, and it was done.
You seen it down there? I think you told me it was on a little piece of timber when you was up here. I know we didn't remember that week. Because
that was the 301 or 306. I caught a 311 this year with one of them, but that was different. Yeah, that fish. Yeah, it was just sitting there by itself. I was like, oh my gosh, if you are what I think you are, it's going to be a donkey. I caught some good fish this spring, so.
You just sure did. Y'all did good. Mike Hill wants to know what reel you running with that. I know what reel it is.
It's a Cast King Sharky 3 1000 series.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that little reel. I've used
Tim Pentecost is running them now. I'm running them. There's a lot of people running them. Ray's running them. I abuse them. I'm talking about it. I'm as mean to that reel as you can be to one.
Yeah.
I mean, I got some taking on mullet fish at Alabama River.
When are we going to do that, John? I was talking to Neil about that. When's it time to do that? I'm kind of
right now.
I know I'm ready to kind of go do that. I seen some guys on TikTok was catching mullet off a pier, and it made me think of it.
Yeah, right now.
I know it's usually.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, yeah, I was coming back with so-and-so. I stopped at so-and-so and I ate some mullet. I said, I'm not talking about going somewhere and eating them. I'm talking about going and catching them. Everybody thinks, nobody thinks of catching mullet, but you can. Everybody throws a cast net for them and that stuff, but oh my gosh. You're out. You don't have control in the beginning of the fish fight. It is the mullet has control.
John said they will peel some drag, man.
Yes, they will.
That's cool.
But, you got to get them, when you can. Some people, like my buddy Dusty, he normally goes down there and smokes them. He had a bad trip last weekend and didn't do with a flip. But the people right up from me, this is what's kind of crazy about it. You got to get like right in the right current break and set up. Out of the people that were right above him were right there in the right spot, and the fish were on their sacks, and they were stroking them. But the next time we go, I'm gonna take that side image and I'm gonna come down that sandbar.
You gonna side image mullet?
Awesome. I'm gonna see them, and I'm gonna set up right above their butts and bust them.
There you go. Yeah, John, they chum for them and everything. It's pretty interesting how they catch them. So.
Well, there's actually a feed called Chum and Get It, and that's what we use.
Chum and Get It, okay. Well, people are interested in doing it. I know it's pretty popular from about you down,
Yeah. It looks like old Rex dog food, if anybody remembers that old Rex dog food.
Rex dog food.
Yeah, you put it in onion sack. And
I got you. So, what size jig was you catching them crappie on this week? What size? 16th. What was you throwing?
So when I was catching those, I had to drop to 30 seconds because they were so shallow.
Oh yeah, now talk to me.
So it's hard to slow a jig down enough when a fish is in 5.5 foot of water.
Oh yeah, it's hard to stall it, right?
2.5. But that one spot I sent you the picture of, Shane, it didn't matter. They were coming. They were on.
Let's see if I can. Hopefully nobody calls me and kicks me off here. I turned my phone on airplane mode.
I tell you, that picture I sent you, that screen is terrible. And that was on my new Ranger that I got. That was with poor power running the front, running through a little cheap bus bar. But I promise you, when I go back on that Ranger again after we get through at Andalusia Marine with it,
yeah,
that screen will be 1,000 times better than that. But it was to the point I was struggling with my picture so much. But I wanted to fish off our new boat. You know what I'm saying? And I managed to limit pretty quick. But I was fortunate enough I got on some hot fish.
Oh yeah, I'm checking into it. I'm trying to.
Now Jessica and I went back before the 4th to the Alabama River, and we did good.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that before because we didn't have a show last Thursday. Talk about that, John. I'm glad you said something about that.
We got on the river ledge and some stumps I knew out down the river ledge, and they were there. And we stroked some really nice fish. Some of that was off just previous knowledge, but we found some new stuff with some side imaging. Uh-oh.
You're good. I'm just putting that picture on here that you sent. Now this is your old unit, you said so.
Yeah, it is. All right, so what he's about to show y'all, this came on the Ranger that we got, and he'll get up here. He's trying to get the picture put in.
Right now. That way you can tell how shallow. This is Tuesday now, so yeah. Really just want to show how shallow you caught them. And there it is.
Yeah, okay. So I'm sitting there in 5.4 feet. The fish might be down a little bit because it looks like the trolling motor is sitting at 5.4. That the bottom of that might be 6 feet. But what I'm saying is you can't slow 16 down enough when they're that shallow up under the water. So you got to try to get you a 30 seconds to kind of bog it out where those fish can recognize it and come up and attack it. And look, you see, all right, so you're seeing this live. There's a halo in there from what some people call a ghost tree and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. To me, a terrible picture of what a live scope should look like.
Right, compared to what you're going to be running,
about the power we pulled and everything. It'll be so much better. I don't know how to say that.
Well, it's just people don't understand. You're when they sent me to class and everything, they talk about, amp drop and everything else. They tell you the cleaner the connection, the bigger the gauge wire. It just
yeah.
It's just a good thing to do.
Always check. So stab your battery, at the back where your battery is, and get you a voltage reading with a multimeter. Then go up front and stab your power wire and see how much voltage drop you got from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. If you got a big voltage drop, you got a bad connector in there somewhere. Something's not right.
That's right. Well, the good thing about batteries now, these lithiums, they're Bluetooth. So you can get on there and look at your voltage. You're like, hey, I got 13 volts. What is, what's going on? You look at your unit, it's only got, it's 12.2. You're like, something's going on,
Mike Hill was asking about the pole.
Yeah, Clifford, Mike Hill lives in Demopolis down there, so I don't know where he could even.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't. If he's ever up around PTG there in Tuscaloosa.
That's exactly right. PTG, that's right.
And Selma now. They're in Selma and.
There you go, Mike. I talk to Mike all the time. He texts me back.
Mike, they're loaded up at PTG, Tuscaloosa Northport.
Yeah, it's a new one, the new store, right? PTG.
As well as there in Selma. What's the name of it, Shane? They are right above Selma, outside Selma, that hardware store. It's got the big. What's it called?
Stafford.
Stafford, yeah.
Stafford. Right. I bought my new fryer. I just got that new fryer from. If you've never been to Stafford, let me tell you guys, don't go in Stafford Trading Company because I'm telling you, it's like a circus of just stuff. You're like, man, I got to get out of here. I went through and bought that fryer. I said, man, I got to get out. I went across the warehouse real quick, threw it in the truck, and come home because I was like, man, they've got stuff from guns to a 15-foot bat wing out there. It's crazy. Like, you got to stay out of that joint. I mean, it's a nice store. They got it going on. Real nice people. But there you go, Mike. I knew that I knew they carried them somewhere, and I wasn't 100% sure. So hey, there you go, Mike. You can run right up there. You just bring your boat and drop off in Millie Ferry, or go on and drop into Demopolis and break them in. So
if anybody else knows of a store that is local to you that would be interested in putting the rods in there, let us know.
Yeah, Safford, that's pretty, Selma, Demopolis, stuff like that. So there you go. Amos just said Crimson Pride in Tuscaloosa. Their 5-footers are on their way. Safford has everything. You're exactly right. So, but hey, they're a popular rod. When they get them in stock, people want to get them. So. Yeah, Clinton said he'll check for people in Georgia. Yeah, Michael's talking about Safford. You can leave her. You can leave your wife downstairs because you can go up. I had to get out of there, John. There was stuff everywhere. I mean, I was like, they had from fuel additive to Lucas stuff to Millennium seats. I mean, I was like, man, I got to get out of here. I bought that fryer, and it was on sale, and it done a great job today for us.
Hey, if anybody's in the boat market, let me know. The Express X19 is going to be rigged. It's going to be rigged to go fishing. I mean, you're going to have a 12-inch monitor at the console. You can do all your side image and mapping right there, and then go up front.
So we're looking at an X19, 200 Yamaha show.
Yep.
What grass we're going to have up front on it?
You'll have a Garmin 4-stroller motor, 12-inch Garmin for live scoping up front.
126 SV up front.
43 GPS mount touchscreen.
Oh, a 1243.
Yes. So,
I got you. Never mind. That's a notch above, guys. Sorry.
So you're gonna have it. You're gonna have a 12-inch Humminbird. At the console. You can immediately go do all the stuff we're talking about on this show. Go catch fish, and with it. It's been great to us.
Oh yeah, been a great boat. It's always been serviced in Andalusia.
Yes.
Whenever you get a price, we'll post it on here. Whenever you get it figured out what you want for it and all that good stuff.
Still got warranty on everything. So
true. I know that thing will take off, and it plays off very fast, guys. I'm just gonna go and tell you that. I mean, we've been sitting there, and being 5 foot of water, and it's a clean bottom, and that thing, whoa! I mean, you're gone. It's crazy. It doesn't stand up. It does great. Me and his big ass have been on the front, and hey, you don't know we're there. We've caught plenty of fish on it, so you're not going to be buying a bad rig at all. So.
On the lithium battery for your electronics.
That's right.
Yeah, it's rigged to fish.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a good thing about it. Why the thumbs up keep coming? Oh, you get a thumbs up on John's screen, but
that's something new. I never seen that.
I don't know. That's on a FaceTime. FaceTime you can do. Ashley does it all the time. You can do a peace sign and throws balloons up, all kind. I didn't know what the heck was going on, but it's something to mess with kids on when you're FaceTiming, really. So, but it's interesting. But I don't know why it's doing that thumbs up thing. But Avery Pruitt said he's got an Ulterra for sale. Avery does. Somebody wants one of those.
I don't know what Avery's going to do without his Ulterra. He likes to send his boat out when he's at the boat ramp. And then
yeah, he does. Amos said, "I'm afraid 500 isn't going to last long." He said, you're rocking them, John." So
good. That's what you're supposed to do when when you're on the pro staff for a rod company.
well, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to push those rods, and
But,
you use them, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do.
hey, but here's the deal: there's video out there showing what can be done with
Oh, yeah.
uh,
The 14-footer and that rod, you can do a lot of damage with. Scott Dees was talking about the 14-footer. Him and Derek, they're rocking those things. They're catching a lot of fish with them. And the 7.2s and the 7-footers, they like those too. If you like the longer rod. Avery said he's going to get an Old Terra Quest. So
I hear you, Avery.
That new Quest trolling motor is a great trolling motor, guys. There's a lot of people running them.
Yeah. I enjoyed mine. I swapped it over to the new boat.
Yeah. You just bought one for the Express, so I know they're good.
And you were very close not to getting that 36-volt battery.
John posted it, and I called him last night. I was like, man, my trolling motor could go up 36 volts. And to be honest with y'all, I didn't want to have to buy another bank charger and all this stuff. And John, it all worked out. It comes with the charger, and then I won't have to get another bank charger. So it's just buying the battery. So I couldn't turn it down. So heck, I'm gonna. But it's going to be a good deal. When you start running all those electronics, you need the power to them because I've killed it out there before. When we done the show at Let You Follow, Neil and I have been out all day, and when I turned it on, it just died. It'd been running, 10 hours, 12 hours. So, but heck, the power, but. You can find those batteries, guys. And, people don't understand. John and I, lead batteries, guys, lead acid batteries won't last us 2 years. They will not. I don't care who builds it. Odyssey, I don't care who builds it, Interstate. They will not. They just don't. I mean, they don't last like they used to me. I've had to change them out and go on a guide trip. Next thing you know, you charge them all night and you hit the trolling motor and, they just won't, So.
And you get to cut weight too.
Oh, yeah. That is the big plus. When you set your boat down and you got 400, 300 pounds of batteries and that backwash comes over the boat, when my batteries weigh 70 pounds, all of them. That's a lot of weight right on. Because, somebody goes back there in the back of the boat and pees, you can feel that weight. And you can feel the front of the boat go up. And you can imagine when you take, from that distance, you take 200 pounds, 150 pounds off. It's
the only problem is that they are very expensive.
Yeah, they are. I guess you do it for the longevity. I mean, that's the thing. I'm curious. The only thing I'm curious about, John, is these 11-year warranties, 10-year warranties. Are these the top 4 companies that are out right now? Dakota, Onic, Impulse, Monster. What's that one that Eric runs? Not Monster. Miller Tech. Those companies are they going? How much they going to prorate them in 6 years, 7 years? I don't know.
I got 2 Miller Techs and 2 Dakotas. They've been good to me.
Exactly.
We'll see in the future. Is all we can do. It's just an expensive investment, at which. Everything about a boat is expensive. Everything about fishing is expensive.
Oh, yeah, guys. Just like today, we had that fish fry with a paper mill, and I bought $200 and something worth of oil and fish fry and stuff, and we fed 50 people. Now, I don't want to add up how much time I had on the water or, the equipment. I'm just, I literally took, I don't know, close to 200 crappie and fed a bunch of fish, and people carried some home. I enjoy that stuff. It was part of my job today, but man, I enjoyed watching everybody light up and enjoy it. And the crappie dip I've been posting. Hey, it lasted about 20 minutes. People were just taking people's word for it. I was laughing. They were just throwing it on the plate and moving. And but man, it's I like that. I like people to enjoy fish that, that's never eaten crappie and or stuff like that, or don't have access to it like we do. But heck, I enjoy it. Like somebody just said, it's cheaper than a drug habit or a lawyer. Hey, Brian, you're exactly right. I guess you're exactly right. It kept me out of a lot of trouble, guys, growing up. My granddaddy, when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, used to buy drums of gas. I have a drum and a crank. That's me. When I was 10 years old, I ran that crank. And I filled that 5-gallon, had a siphon hose, and I had me a boundary I could go to, and that's as far as I could go, and I'll never forget that. I owe my granddaddy, man, ain't no telling how much gas I burned. I promise you. And that's what got the passion it is to me now, the fishing that I enjoy. It's just having my little boat with a 28 special on it. It wasn't oil injected. I had to mix my own stuff and a Fisher Marine little aluminum boat. And I caught some fish out of that thing. But that's what, that's what these kids don't realize, man, that's coming up. You hate to sound like an old person, but these kids, some of them don't have a clue what they're missing out on. I know John done the same thing. He grew up doing it, catching these fish.
I was fortunate enough to have eight old rock pond holes in the cow pasture growing up, so I could leave out of my grandmama's house or my mom and dad's house, and I had 8 different options.
There you go.
But I knew about every spot on them things. By the time, well, of course, when you get 15, 16, you start chasing something else. But
yeah, that's exactly right.
I was 12. When I was 12 to 15, I had a free reign of the cow pasture, and it was on.
Yeah, man. I used to walk to Miss Champion's Lake. They're building a hospital right here, and man, I used to count me a buzz bait on a bass rod and walk over there, and I'd walk all the way over there and backlash my reel. To go all the way home, take the line off, make my mom run me to Walmart, give me some more strand, But man, I wouldn't take nothing for those memories, guys. People don't understand. I make a lot of memories, and I've read studies, guys. They say I don't know how they get this, but they say when you pass away, your brain still runs for 7, 8, 9 minutes, and most of it's memories you have. And I hope somebody that's got to fish with me, or even myself, I hope some of those minutes are memories fishing with me or fishing with somebody, their dad or something, because I don't want to get sentimental, but just like James Trott and his dad passed away, I promise you he's got all those memories of him fishing with his dad and his friends and everything else is rolling through his brain for sure. And Scott said he fished in a mining camp. There you go. I mean, everybody can relate what you're talking about.
So let's hit this right quick. August the 10th is the Dippy Outdoors.
Yes, I'm glad you said that.
Kids tournament. So last year at the Dippy Outdoors Kids tournament, I feel like I'm a part of it. We gave away 133 rod and reels to kids that showed up to the Dippy Outdoors Kids tournament down there. It's down there at Hubbard's Landing.
That's right.
On the Delta area in South Alabama. So each year this is kind of progressed, right? So the year before, I want to say it was 80 kids showed up. Last year was 133. And we were able to put a rod and reel in 133 different kids' hands. That's amazing. And fed the families of those kids. So in any way that you can contribute to this upcoming year on August the 10th, or here the next month or so, August the 10th, the Dippy Outdoors Kids Tournament. Not necessarily always a tournament, it's a get-together for kids to be encouraged to get in the outdoors. There is a tournament involved with it, a fishing tournament, but it's for kids to come and enjoy the outdoors down at Hubbard's Landing in South Alabama. On feed everybody that shows up, but you need to come with some kids. Don't just show up to get you plate to eat. It is for the kids. So if you know anybody that can donate rod and reels, jigs, uh, prizes for the kids, it is totally for the kids. The kids have their own weigh-in division. They can weigh in their own fish. Dippy calls it a lunker. And then they can weigh in what's considered as any fish, a trash fish. It could be a gar, a catfish. Whoever catches the biggest trash fish, they win a prize. And then you have an overall tournament that is won. And I think last year there was 40-something boats in that thing. And it just gets bigger and bigger every year. Like Paul Harrington, he cooks one of the biggest pots of jambalaya for it that you'll ever want to see. Then it's
I'm going to do my best. I forget. I had a guide trip or something last year. I can't remember what happened, but I'm going to do my best to be down there this time. So.
It's called Dippy Outdoors Kids Tournament, but it's really a Dippy Outdoors Kids event because a lot of kids that show up, they're just out there that they're fishing around the dock and they're enjoying themselves. This year, Jessica and I are going to probably not fish in the tournament at all. We're just going to try to shuttle kids back and forth and take them fishing.
Mike Hill said to send your Venmo to him and he'll donate $100. So appreciate it.
That'd be awesome. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, Mike Hill, appreciate it, Mike. That's a good guys. I mean, like you said, I mean, they put a rod and reel in a bunch of kids' hands, and just like my nephew Liam, he's ate up with fishing. It's funny,
Hey, if you could go on Amazon and buy a couple of those Spider-Man rod and reel sets, or
his number. He just posted his number too, John. So.
Okay, or any of the little Avenger rod and reel sets on Amazon, I can get you Dippy's address or Paul Harrington's address.
Ship it straight to them.
Yep, that rod and reel set directly to them, and we'll have it that day of the event, and it'll help so much. So last year, we were thinking about 100 kids, or Dippy was, and when the event got there, the kids just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and they needed more rod and reels. They had to do like a last minute surge to Walmart and everywhere they could buy rod and reels, to cover these 100. 133 is that's a lot of rod and reels. So we're going to talk about the kids tournament / event. Every show between now and then, a little bit.
August 10th. We still got a little while. We got a month.
So if you hear what we're talking about, and you can message Shane or I, and
Scott Dees too. Scott Dees said anyone around Choctaw County, he'll take any rods down there. So
yeah, it's super exciting. It's just amazing seeing those kids when they come up. They call their name out when they win a prize, or handed their stuff, and I mean it's amazing to watch.
It's good stuff. I know I've been fortunate to carry a few kids fishing, and man, they light up, and I don't know. It's just watching them learn and reel in fish, and just like you said, just getting to be out there. Anything to get them out of the house, for sure.
We're probably going to be doing some slip corking when we take them that morning.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm trying to remember. Matthew said he's going to send a couple, man. We appreciate all y'all, especially these people that watch us every week. We'll start pumping it up, and you can't go wrong, guys, and blessing some kids with rod and reels, I promise you. I appreciate Mike Hill and Matthew talking about that.
Hey, if you want to show up and take some of these kids fishing, more than welcome.
Oh yeah, like I said, hey, throw a life jacket on them and get out there. A lot of them just want to get on a boat and experience that, and climb on a boat. I know I've been at some of these tournaments and people's like, hey man, can I get on your boat? Man, You can climb all over it. You can get his picture made, whatever you want to do. Hey, you can't hurt nothing. I done kicked it all around, so you know. Exactly. Michael said he can remember his son at the National Wildlife Turkey Federation events running to the front to get those fishing rods.
If you want to see something special, go to it's DP Outdoors and look at the tournament from last year.
That's right. It'll be on his Facebook page. Sure will.
DIPPI space outdoors, and you'll find it on Facebook. They give away. They got somebody that donates a utility trailer every year. I mean, and a kid wins I mean, I don't know what a kid's gonna do with a utility trailer, but hey, it'll be theirs for the rest of their life.
Hey, you can't go wrong, guys. You don't ever know, man. To me, I'm a big thinker, and I think if you put a rod and reel in a kid's hand, he gets hooked on that instead of trying to run the streets or disrespecting his mother, and his mother say, hey, you can't go fishing unless you do your chores. And that's the way my mentality gets to thinking. You can use it to hang over those kids' head to make them act right. Hey, that's what happened to me. I mean, that's exactly, you got to do this, got to do that before you can do it. And
hey, last year, one of our sponsors, Alpha Plumbing, here's what's funny about this. The people we deal with are great people. D. Roberson with Alpha Plumbing, he's in North Alabama. This kid's tournament's down there in South Alabama.
Yes, it's 5-6 hours away from it.
Alpha Plumbing is not getting. I hope that somebody saw it and he got business from it, but he did that out of the goodness of his heart.
That's exactly right. He wrote a check to Jon and sent it down there to him. So.
Yeah, he made a donation to the kids tournament down there, way away from him. I mean that's
yeah. It just like I said, he's all the way up here by me, and but hey, he likes it too, and he likes to share. He's just like the rest of us. So we're fortunate all our sponsors are that way. So. They try to be fair, and that we thank every one of them. So, man, that hour done blew by. Hour blew by, and we shot from the hip and got it done again, Jon.
It's kind of funny. When we first started doing this, Shane and I were like, "What we're going to talk about?"
We were trying to write down notes and everything. Guy, it was funny.
Yeah, a bunch of notes tonight. Which we've done it several times. We like, well, we're going to talk about it. So I don't know. Let's just go.
Well, fishing's fishing right now. You get out there, and the good thing about it, you can mark stuff, guys. Even if you don't catch fish, you can start marking stuff. You'll probably get lucky and find you some fish. I mean, you just got to go. It's hot,
Hey, if you do have something that you would like for us to talk about and go more in depth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, guys. Y'all ask a question or message Jon and I. Say, hey, I want y'all to go into this. And, we got into the side scan kick for a little while and stuff like that. If I fish, I'm going to try to get if I go to dip in those shallow trees in Demopolis this weekend, I'm going to have my camera going where you can exactly see how shallow these fish I'm snatching. I mean, some of these fish are 1.5 feet deep. I want to show people that. So, but I'm going to try to do it. If I can remember to bring my camera, it's sitting over on the couch, but
I still got footage I need to edit from Father's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good, man. But y'all get out there and be safe. Like I said, we'll be talking about the Dippy Outdoor Tournament and all that good stuff. And it's I think it's going to be growing. I think it's going to be big. It's probably going to scare them how many kids are going to show up this year. I mean, that's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Great problem.
Good to be on here tonight.
Oh yeah, man. I'm glad to be alive, man. Enjoying it. Life is good, guys, and everybody's blessed. So, Jon, you hang out a little bit, and we'll see y'all next Thursday, same time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're gonna do it again. Jessica will be back with us. Hopefully, we'll talk about some fishing and anything we find good or equipment wise or everything. Jon's gonna have his boat going. I hope by then. And he'll be able to give us a report on his Ranger and all that good stuff. But appreciate y'all guys. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all messages. Appreciate y'all sending pictures. But I thank y'all, and we'll see you next time.